for step 36, which is what we're on now, we need our P3 part, which is our receiver stay. And we need our receiver, and we need a couple of the BC3s, which are the 3x8mm self-tapping screws. And we're going to attach that to the chassis. And for those of you, I'm using this FlySky receiver with my FSI6S system. I've checked the manual and it says that this wasn't compatible, but I have bound it and it is compatible because it's on the AFDS2A system, so that works. So I've put that on and bound that and works. The only thing I probably won't work will be the gyro, but we're not going fast enough anyway. So yeah, I'm going to put these together now. The other thing you need to think about is this particular battery stay, because we need the truck option parts 1, 10 and or 11. In our case, we're putting in the multi-unit, the MFC03. So let's go and have a look and see what we have to do for that. So truck option part 11 is mainly the LED systems for the front of the truck. The tail lights, well, we've already done those, and the actual switching unit, the control unit, the vibration unit, the speaker that goes in the cab, and this is what we're interested in, the MFC3 unit. And you can see a little note here. It says remove projections on the receiver stay and attach the MFC unit using the shock absorber double-side tape. So what we're interested in doing, if we go back to our step 36, is the projections that are protruding out here. We need to remove those so that we can place the MFC unit with double-sided tape onto here, as well as our receiver and everything else. So that's what I'm going to do next. And there we are, that's step 36 complete, with the receiver stay in place, the P3 part with the BC3s, the 3x8mm screws, and the MFC unit is effectively going to get double-sided taped on top of there. So it'll look kind of like that. We've got lots of tidying up wiring to do. Ooh. But then that's my forte. Let's do what we need to do for the next step, which is step 37. So steps 37 is putting a battery in. Don't need to show you how to put a battery in. 38 is about setting up the steering geometry, and also about getting the shifting correct. So for your low gear, your second gear and your top gear. I'm going to do that at a later stage. Again, no need to show you how to do that. That's all part of setting up. So then we go on to steps 39 and 40, which is all about putting the wheels together, front wheels and the back wheels, and putting them onto the chassis. So yeah, we're going to come back to this and set this up when I'm ready, because I've got the MFC unit to go into the model as well, and that's from the previous steps, and I need to work out where to put this, where to put the receiver and the other vibrations and speakers and things like that as well. So got a little bit of working out to do and cable management all to do, so lot to do here, and I'll come back when I've done that and the wheels, and give you an update after that. Right, we are now on step 39, and this is all about getting the chassis onto its wheels. We need the V1 and V2 parts, which are these guys. We need 4 of those, and we need the U1, which are these guys for the fronts. We need just a pair, and we need the obligatory sniff test on the tyres. Sorry guys, but this has to be done. Let's have a little look. Oh, I don't know actually. I think they smell a bit sour. Maybe I should get some Blitzer Beetle ones on there because they smell better. Oh, nah, definitely not right. If I was served that at the restaurant, I'll be taking it back to the chef saying they smell like a dog's dinner. Nah, not for me. Right, anyway, yeah, this is just really putting the tyres onto the rims and gluing them into place carefully with some instant cement. Right, so I finished off step 39, and with step 39 for the back wheels, which with the V1 and V2 parts, I've literally used all of the BB3s, which are the 2x5mm cap screws, and BB6, which are the 2mm nuts, and they literally are a little cap head screw goes through, and the nut is in the hexagonal slot, and you just literally tighten those together, and that's all done. So I've done the 4 pairs, so you now get the idea. They're all in, and the front ones are all in. And so what I did with these is it's just a simple case of all of the wheels and tyres. You put them onto the rims and glue them with the instant cement, and then overnight I've had that just literally cure overnight, so it was all instant. And then I've put them together this morning, and yeah, that's it. That's how they're now ready for the next step. So we're ready to go on to step 40, which is putting these little bad boys onto the truck and put the truck onto its wheels. So here we go. Let's do what we need to do. For step 40, we need some more components from our bag E, which are the flanged locking nuts, the 4mm flanged locking nuts. So we need 6 of those. We need our metal bearings, our MA18s. Well, as you know, I've replaced those with proper bearings. Here we are. So we've got our last 4. And we need ME21s, the wheel hubs. We need these for the rear wheels. And there's a little note here, if you look carefully, making sure that you get the splines of the rear axles lining up with the splines in the wheel hexes. And I'm going to try and bring this up so you can see. Let's see if we can get you the focus up. There we go. And you might just about pick out there's some splines here. So yeah, it's a nice easy step. Get the chassis onto its wheels. Okay, so we're on step 41, and now we're on bag F, and we need some screws first of all. So from MD we need these ones, the 2.6mm screws. So we need the BB6s, which are the 2mm nuts. We need MF3, which is a 2mm locking nut. We need MF10s, which will be used for holding the mirrors. We need the mirror stays, 2 of those. A supporting rod. We need a C11 and a C13. And we need, of course, our mirrors, which are the R6s, which are here, which I've painted. And we also need these spacers, which are the R12s, which again I've painted as well. So put all these together. We've got the little mirror plates as well to go in. So this is the mirrors, making the mirrors, and yeah, a little busy step. Again, on these steps you'll see these little bits of paintings and things here and there, and I've sort of kind of been looking ahead and thinking, what do I paint at the same time? So yeah, all right, so we'll get on with step 41. Okay, so this is now step 41 completed. So we've done the support rod, and we've placed the C11 and C13 with the locking nut on the end. That's done. And we've done the left and right mirrors, as you can see here. And there's lots of little steps here because you have to paint these up. You have to paint the caps up. So the little R12s, you have to paint those. So that's the little R12s which are on the end there. Screws are underneath. You have to paint the wing mirrors up, and then glue in the little rub down. When the glue's dry, I'll give that a little clean. But yeah, there we are. So that is step 41 completed. Easy little step, but the glue, you've got to glue and you've got to paint as well. So when you've got the glue in, you need to make sure you don't catch the paint and make all the paint peel. So there you are, done. On to the next step. Bodywork time. And yeah, while I've been doing those paintings, I've been painting the rest of the bodywork at the same time as well while I'm in the body shop. Well, what I call my body shop, my body garage. Anyway, here we are. On to the next step. Okay, so we are now on step 42. 42, we need some parts from the parts bags. So we need from BC3, we need the 3x8mm self-tapping. We need the MD1s from the main bag D. 2x6mm, we need BB6s, which are the 2mm nuts. We need this C8 part, and you can see I've popped the grey foam pieces on. We need that. We also need this part here, which is our L12, which I've painted and placed the double-sided tape, the white double-sided tape in each corners. That's all ready to go. We are going to need the windscreen part. We're going to need the side windows, and we are going to need our wing mirrors that we made in step 41 as well, and we're going to need the front cab. And as you can see, I've been busy with the paint, and as you can see here, spray painted the front bit. The handles I actually did by hand with hand paints, and yeah, a little bit of touching up here and there, but in all, the spray turned out quite well. Just masking, spraying, heating, and I've done the inside as well. So yeah, so we now got to put this all together using a bit of our locking thread lock and screwing and putting pieces together. So let's get that done. Okay, so we've now completed step 41, which is attaching the wing mirrors, attaching the side glazings and the front glazings, and the parts for when the tilt. So that's the sponge part, which is the C8 part, and also the C12 part here. We've stuck that in, so there we are. So it's all in. We can now move on to the next one, which is step 43, which is putting the roof components on. So we are now on step 43, and 43, you can see I've been very busy in the paint booth, and this step here to prep for this step 43, it's taken me about a week of spraying. You've got the K1 and K2 parts, K1 and K4 parts, which have had to be sprayed. You've got the F1 part here that had to be sprayed. You've got the F2 part here, which had to be sprayed. We've got the L11 part. This had to be sprayed black. We've had the R13 part, which had to be sprayed black. We've also got the R9 part, which had to be sprayed black. So, you know, it's taken me a good week and a bit to get to this stage with paint and getting everything in place. So yeah, lots of painting. Now we've just got to put this together using some BC3 screws, 3x8s from our BC3. From our main from our main box, we need our ME2s, which are the 2x8mm screws, and some BB6s, 2mm nuts. We need some of those, and we need to thread lock some of these in place and glue some of these in place. So quick tip from Peter Smith of CW01 Creations there. He gave me a good tip. I was using the Tamiya cement and made a bit of a problem with my last model, and changed to the Yoo-hoo glue. This is very easily available on Amazon. This is the power one, and this is a lot better for gluing the plastic parts, and as long as you don't get it onto the paint areas, it doesn't seep through, and yeah, you don't cause paint problems. So thank you, Peter, for a great tip. Always up for some great tips. Yeah, and here we are. We're going to glue and screw these together. So I'll get on with that. Okay, so here we are. We are now on step 43, and as you can see, I've now put all that together. So quite a simple step, and it's just bolting and screwing things together, and we're done. That's it, all there, glued in, and That little tip about the glue works a treat. None of that running and blistering up the paint that you've spent all that hard time on. Right, we are on to the next step. Right, so we are now on step 44, and we've got to put some more components onto the truck body. And yeah, so again, been busy in the paint shop with these M2 and M3 parts. We need some parts from BC3 bag, which is the 3x8 millimeters. We need 4 of those. From our main E-bag parts, we need ME2s, which are the 2x8 millimeter screws, and our BB6s, which are our 2 millimeter nuts. So they're all lined on here. And yeah, we just got to put this small step together. A little bit of the locking thread lock for the ME2 screws, and it goes on to our truck body. So we're sort of kind of going to look a little bit like that with the fins on the back. So yeah, let's get on and do that, and then I'll show you how we got on. And there we are. That is step 44 now complete. We've placed the top onto the cab, and we placed the rear sections onto the cab as well. So starting to look like a Scania R620 now. Yeah. So we're now can move on to step 45. So there you go. That's step 44, putting those components on. Right. Step 45 is next. Right, we're now on step 45. And for step 45, again, some more screws from the parts bag. We need the parts bag BA3s. We need these 3x8 millimeter machine screws. And we need 8 of those. So I've got those here, lined up here. From our main F bag, we need our MF1s. We need 4 of those. They're 3x10 millimeter, and they're like a panhead screw. I've got 4 of those here. And our 3 millimeter flanged nuts, we need those here. We're going to need the body that we've been making. We're going to need these brackets. These are the brackets that's going to help us with the tilting. And we're going to need the hinges. We need 2 of those too. And we need the cowling as well at the front. And we're starting to put the front of the truck together. Yeah, so also we need these L2 parts. I've just gone and sprayed those, so need to wait for that to cure. So again, you see little steps with a little bit of painting here and there. So you've got to go and paint those, wait for that to dry before you can finish that step. So this is how this this model goes together. It's not a put it all together and then go and do the bodywork. It's bits and pieces as you go along. And as you can see with step 46, we're then moving on to the interior. So yeah, so back to step 45. Let's wait for the paint to dry on those. In the meantime, I'm going to put this bit together so it's ready, and perhaps put the cowling and things on the hinges and things ready. So all I've got to do is just bolt this to the front of the car when the L2 parts are dry. So there's the components. We'll get on with that. Right, so we have now just completed step 45, and this is the result of what you would see. So you now have sort of the cab placed in, and you now have the hinged bracket on the cab as well. So you've got plenty of sort of screwing of the bracketry and things on the front. So that is step 45 now completed, and we now move on to step 46, which is the interior. Here we go, starting to make it come to life.